In this video, I'm going to show you how the mainstream media, as well as controllers, narcissists, and people that just want to manipulate you, how they accomplish their goals. Let's jump right in with how you are manipulated by using your limbic system, the emotion center, and how unsavory people will harness that to use it against you. All right, the first one is the appeal to emotion. As I said before, this hits you right between the ears and the limbic system. This is where logic is completely worked around. Your neocortex is not engaged because complex thought is not necessary for this when manipulating a human being. An example of this would be when you are asked to give up a basic right or to just put things aside for a few weeks or a few days so that something can be fixed. And if you don't, people may get sick, people may die. So listen, everyone, you need to give up this basic right for a couple of weeks until we get this whatever it is under control. Next, I combined the straw man as well as the red herring. Now, the straw man argument is where someone misrepresents what it is that you are speaking about so that whatever they have to counter what you're speaking about is easier to put across. So again, this is a misrepresentation of your actual argument. The red herring is much more an argument of distraction. This could be something like, who cares that the gas prices are so high? Who cares that energy prices are so high? Haven't you ever heard of global warming or climate change? So in other words, they throw something in that has nothing to do with what you're talking about to distract you from your original argument. The next one's the bandwagon effect or the bandwagon fallacy. This is where you need to agree with something because everybody else thinks this. Everyone is doing this thing that you would normally not do, so you need to get with the program and do what everyone else is doing. The next one is the false dilemma. Now, as you know, anytime you're thinking about something, you don't always have to go completely to one end of the spectrum or completely to the other end of the spectrum. There are all kinds of solutions somewhere in the middle. This ignores all of that. So this is more of you care about people or you hate everybody. It's very extreme, one side or the other. The next one is appeal to authority. This is where you are pushed or pressured to go along with something because someone who is high up in an organization or someone that maybe you're supposed to be looking up to. An example here would be, you really need to do this because this particular group of doctors have said this is the only way that we can get through this thing together. So because the doctors have said it and they're very famous and you've heard of them, you must comply. Because after all, who would argue with a doctor? The next one is the slippery slope fallacy. This is the one that tells you that if you do A, it will automatically lead to B, and B is usually some over-exaggerated idea of what may happen. An example here would be when someone in Congress or someone in authority that makes rules or laws pushes something across that restricts a whole bunch of things about your normal life and says, if we don't do this, everything is going to collapse. And if you don't do this now, and if you don't pay attention, you just don't care. So you need to give up these rights or you need to do these things because if you don't, it's going to be terrible. The last one is false equivalence. This is where you compare two things that are in no way similar, but it's presented as though they're exactly the same thing. So in the news, you might hear something like both sides on the far left and the far right, they both have people that are completely out of line. And they also have people that are completely right in the ballpark of where we need to be. So it compares things as though they're absolutely the same when they couldn't be more different. Ask yourself, are any of these being pulled over on you? Have you ever experienced any of these things before? Do you know anyone that it's happened to? Think about it.